I've always been a huge fan of co-op play and a big proponent of local co-op. Most of my childhood consisted of me enjoying a good game with my dad or my friends. We would spend hours enjoying titles like Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, the X-Men arcade game, and others. Games like this were fun because of their accessibility and satisfaction in their execution. I also loved a good story with characters I cared about. Throughout the years, the gaming medium showed me that you can have a wide variety of stories and unique ways to present those stories. Many of my friends that I played co-op with enjoyed fun action and a good story. The Army of Two series was a reliable means of fun split-screen play. It didn't have the most memorable narratives, but my experience with them was a highlight of that generation. Splinter Cell Conviction marked the return of a series that I love, and it had its own mini-story co-op campaign that acted as a prequel for the main game. The game challenged co-op players with its memorable and well-executed ending. The Halo series, except for 5, provided a good mix of fun and dynamic gameplay with a good story. We would be here all day if I listed all the other co-op games that I enjoy. But my point is that I love this stuff. So when I finally got my hands on A Way Out, a new co-op only story-focused game, I felt like this was made for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my review for A Way Out. A Way Out starts with both of our heroes, Leo and Vincent, in prison with Vincent on his way to prison. The game spends the initial moments with setting the stage and showing the environment that we will all be in, along with having the player who is controlling Vincent to experience his entrance into the prison, while the other player is Leo, who is already acclimated to that environment. What's noticeable is how the split screen will change. As Vincent is walking in, a cutscene or something of interest or importance will happen on Leo's screen, and then his screen will then expand, while Vincent's will shrink to show the importance of what's going on. Following the introduction, the players are on opposite sides of the area. I like this small part because it allows players to walk around the environment. The environments don't have meaningless collectibles to grab, but rather little nuggets of story that help build and present these locations as real places and provide some really good humor. I encountered one of these humorous bits right away while I was playing as Leo.
Whoa, what's going on here?
Well, he's a chiropractor. He's gonna fix my neck.
Gyro what?
It fixes people up, snaps things back into place, you know?
Does it work?
Yeah, man.
Are you sure it isn't just a way for him to get some close physical contact?
What?
Well, you know, from where I'm standing, it doesn't look too good. Looks to me like he's trying to snap some other things in place.
Wait. What do you mean, huh? What do you mean?
Well, never mind, I'll leave you to it.
All right, thanks.
Following your chiropractic appointment, Leo gets into a fight in the baseball court. As Vincent, you run over to investigate the situation and you get thrown into the fight. This is the first time that Vincent and Leo meet and work with each other to try and get out of a tough situation. Essentially, this fight sequence is a QuickTime event. What really impressed me here was the camera work and how the screen shifts perspective. The game goes into full screen, and each player must input the button responses for their character when they are presented on screen. The whole fight sequence is done to look like it was shot in one take. The transitions within the fight between the players controlling their character is really engaging too. As the player in controlling Leo, you will start out the fight and then someone will get knocked into Vincent, and now the player who is controlling Vincent is at the center of the stage of the action. This sequence is impressive, and it shows that the game is in some very talented hands. Following this sequence, the two characters start to learn to work with each other as they both learn that they were wronged by the same man, and they both want to escape the prison and get their revenge. The build-up and actual escape of the prison is really satisfying. I love that you essentially play each part of the prison escape, while moving certain pieces into place to coordinate that escape. The first instance of this is when Leo needs to steal a tool to help him with the escape plan.
Hey, I'm Leo.
Vincent,
Listen, thanks.
don't mention it.
I mean it, man.
What's your beef with that guy anyway?
Let's just say it's a long story. But don't worry about him. He's out of the picture now. Could you do me a favor?
Like what?
There's something I need.
What's that exactly?
Nothing, man. It's simple. I just need you to watch my back while I get it, that's all.
Sorry, not interested.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll do it myself.
Wait.
What?
You can't just walk out of here.
Of course I can.
We're gonna both end up in the hole.
Well, I don't have a choice.
All right, I'll help you. Just don't get caught.
Okay. Keep your eyes sharp.
Within this situation, Leo needs to grab a tool and Vincent is bedridden and needs to distract both the nurse and guards so that Leo can then escape, grab the tool, and get back without being seen. As Vincent, the player will engage in dialogue with the nurse to keep her busy or get her attention. Leo will use this as an opportunity to sneak around the area. Once Leo gets past the nurse, he needs Vincent's help to help distract a guard because the guard is looking right at Leo.
Wrong.
Shit,
I'm fine.
Vincent needs to do something about that guard.
It's hot. Look what you made me do.
With the guard busy, Leo can sneak in, grab the tool, and then get back to his bed before anyone ever missed him. The game is full of sequences like this, where you have a situation and then there's a problem or a predicament that occurs, and then the characters need to figure out how to work together to get out of it. This type of design does wonders for the pacing in the game. The story is very focused on the prison break for the first hour or so, and there aren't many breaks in terms of doing anything else other than trying to escape the prison. At this point in the game, you only know that the two characters have the same enemy and objective. You don't know why Leo is in prison, nor do you know why that Vincent's in prison. You don't need that at this point. With the story and game focusing on the prison escape, you see Vincent and Leo learn to work together as a team, and you see that friendship start to grow. With the story focus on the escape, the situations that you play feel like mini objectives in a grander plan. Each time you complete a situation, you feel like you earned a mini victory. Plus, it helps to build tension for the actual prison escape sequence. One of my favorite bits of the escape plan follows a sequence where the two characters must help each other up a narrow shaft.
Here, give me your arm.
What for?
Guess I've got an idea. Turn your back against mine.
Are you kidding me?
Just remember to push against my back.
It's never gonna work.
Relax.
It's too high, man.
I used to do this as a kid all the time.
You're nuts.
When they get to the top, they realize they need a wrench to complete their escape. Essentially, the two need to grab a wrench from the prison's workshop and then work their way back to their cells. During this whole process, the wrench continues to change hands of each of the players as they're trying to get the wrench back to their cell. The whole sequence felt like a really good action film. There's even one point where Leo is almost caught with the wrench and then he hides it behind his back for Vincent to quickly grab and then slip away.
Whoa, hey. Is there a problem here?
No?
Oh, really? Then what's that look on your face?
This is my face. You jealous?
Are you trying to be funny?
If I was trying to be funny, you guys would be laughing right now.
Following this sequence, the prison break picks up where the two left off needing the wrench. I love how the game doesn't make you repeat sections of the escape as you slowly progress. Now this is the part where the full escape begins. It's a nice mix of high action and tension building moments as you use stealth to prevail. You'll notice too, as the prison escape continues on, the two of them have a different rapport with each other than they did at the beginning of the game. You start to see that friendship building, and through that, some of the humor starts coming out of it.
We'll have to cross that bridge.
No shit.
Sherlock.
What?
You could have said no shit, Sherlock.
No shit, Sherlock.
Good.
What contrasts well with this are the points where the game shows you a point in the future as the two discuss events that you're experiencing from their past. One funny bit is when they discuss climbing up the shaft in the prison. I really like these parts in the game, particularly because with this you get to see at the start of the game with the prison how their relationship started, and then as the game plays out you start to see how that develops. But when they do these little jumps to the airplane, you can see that they have this solidified friendship that's there and they've gone through stuff. What also adds to this too is they may be joking about something, but what's nice is they're joking about something that you experience with them, one of the events from the game. So it kind of makes you feel like you're in on the joke with the characters.
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you something.
What's that?
Back in the prison, when we climbed that shaft, you know the back-to-back thing?
Yeah? What about it?
Did you really do that when you were a kid?
No.
What?
I saw it in a comic book once, when I was a kid.
Tell me you're joking.
No. I'm just glad it worked.
Oh my God. I can't fucking believe you talked me into it.
Me neither.
Towards the end of the prison escape sequence, the players are come to a choice of choosing a path by how Leo would tackle it, or how Vincent would tackle it. These small junctures are fun as Leo tends to be more dangerous and Vincent's are a bit more cautious in his approach. They also add to the replay as you'll want to see each version of your choice. With your first juncture, you can choose Leo's route, which has you stealing a cop car as you attempt to bypass a police roadblock. This is a good tension building part as it results in the action exploding when a cop sees through your disguise.
I'm telling you, this is gonna work. Just jump in the back and stay low.
I'll give you credit when we've crossed the bridge.
Over there!
Step on it, Leo!
Somebody shoot him!
Hold on, Vincent! Oh, shit!
If you choose Vincent's path, you'll sneak past the cops, but you're going to be going underneath the bridge, and you also get to explore a little bit of Leo's fear of heights. Once you're out of the prison, the game focuses on Leo and Vincent preparing for and executing their revenge on Harvey. Both Leo and Vincent share their stories of how Leo screwed them over and how they both ended up in prison. Vincent shares that Harvey killed his brother and that Vincent was blamed for the murder. Leo had a deal that went bad, resulting in him going to prison. Vincent's story is told through exposition, while Leo's story is told through a flashback. I initially thought this was an odd choice, and maybe the developers decided to cut Vincent's flashback sequence for time or money. But I was a bit frustrated as seeing that Leo's flashback sequence, we got to see what happened to him, rather than just be told with what happened to Vincent. But there's a reason for this, and we'll get back to this later in the video. You spend the rest of the game hunting down Harvey, and this leads the pair through some very memorable set-piece action scenes. One following the prison has you stealing a truck with Vincent driving and Leo firing a shotgun from the back. The cops are nuts in this section, and the amount of vehicles thrown at you is a bit over the top. Honestly, these cops must have been trained by the cops in the Blues Brothers. There's something to note here with the action scenes. Some can be a bit over the top, but the two never become superheroes. The characters are grounded in their development while adding emotion to the action. I could spend hours discussing each scene, but one that I really want to talk about is the hospital escape sequence.
Hey! Freeze! Don't move!
He's over there! Stop! You're under arrest!
Stop!
Hey, yo!
There he is! He's running for it!
Oh shit!
The camera work on display here is just impressive. The camera is continually moving, making it seem like the whole sequence was done in one take. This whole action bit has the players taking control of their respective character and then changing only as one character is presented on screen at a time. What's really nice about this is that you have this continual change between each of the characters throughout the whole sequence. The pacing, the mini events that happen in the escape, and the character swapping just make the sequence enthralling. It's great to play. The character transitions are seamless, with them not feeling jarring but rather smoothly done, as the game transitions control away from one player and then gives it to another. It keeps you on your toes as you progress throughout the chase. If you're playing as Leo, you'll have a delightful bit where your chase turns into an old school side-scrolling beat-em-up. This was a nice surprise during the chase and broke up the running with some nice fist fighting. This sequence should be given an award for like one of the most memorable, playable action sequences that you'll play in a game. This team should really talk to the guys at Uncharted, and both of them should get together and make one hell of an action sequence.
Are you shitting me? All right, come on, let's go.
You wanna fight? Let's fight!
He's over there.
Don't let him get away!
I'll beat every single one of you. Come on.
Towards the end of the game, the pair will fight and confront Harvey. This is an explosive finale, and it has the most shooting in the game. The shooting is functional to competent, and you will notice that the aim and control of it does feel off. The controls could be better, but you only use the shooting for about an hour in the game, and they are functional. The shootouts are still enjoyable because of the emotional weight of our characters and story. There's even a few stealth sequences thrown in there, and a really good bookend to the action sequences where you're using these mountain bikes to get off the island. It is satisfying when you confront Harvey and both of you blow him away, but another nitpick I want to talk about is how the villain just isn't that compelling. He is quickly established as someone who has caused the problems for both of our heroes, but we never get any development on him. He isn't explored as a character and is really just there to service the story as the person who caused all these actions to really get Leo and Vincent together. This would have bothered me more if the game ended here, but the game doesn't. Following the explosive finale, the game throws a twist at both of the players. Once the plane lands, both of the characters are surrounded by cops, and at this point, I thought both of these characters were going to go out shooting like Butch and Sundance and die right there. Or I thought both of them were going to get captured by the police and then thrown into a maximum security prison. And then the game ends with both of the characters in prison with a brief sequence of Vincent starting a plan instead of Leo, who started it from the beginning. So you have a little bit of a role reversal there. But the true way the game does it, the game reveals that Vincent was a cop the whole time. He got close to Leo as a means to take down Harvey. The individual who Harvey shot in the Leo flashback was Vincent's brother. I half saw something like this coming, as I really thought it was out of place that they show Leo's flashback, but only tell Vincent's flashback through exposition. Since the game continued to present itself as a piece of entertainment made by smart people, I felt like something else had to go on with that flashback. This twist doesn't just work as pure shock value, but it recontextualizes much of the game, and you'll want to go back through and experience it again just to see where more of the clues were, kind of leading to Vincent's twist. I rather enjoyed that this game spent most of its story building up and establishing this friendship between the two of them, and then really challenging that friendship at the end. Essentially, Leo makes his escape, and Vincent and Leo face off against each other.
Please stop this. How does it feel to stab someone in the back?
I know you're disappointed, but Harvey killed my brother. I had no choice.
I can't fucking believe this!
I'll talk to the captain. We'll reduce your sentence.
My sentence! You're a dead man, you piece of shit!
What about your son, Alex?
Shut the fuck up! Don't you mention his name! You don't get to mention his name!
You hear that, you piece of shit? You're a dead man! You piece of shit!
Throughout the cutscenes at this point, you can see how both of them don't want to kill each other, but they feel like they're in a situation where they just don't have a choice.
Throw your gun! Fucking do it!
All right.
Now!
Easy. See? It's down.
Push it away!
Leo, don't do this.
Shut up! On your knees! I said on your knees! How do you feel about this now?
They have a few skirmishes until the final moment where both of them try to reach the only gun in the area. The player with the least amount of health will move really slowly because of his injuries. I reached the gun first as Leo, and I didn't want to pull the trigger. I was hoping that there was an ending where I didn't shoot Vincent, or I could throw the gun away, but just like Metal Gear Solid 3, the game wouldn't progress until I pulled the trigger. The story hit an emotional high at this point, and I liked how the vibrations in the controller were kind of like a heartbeat for the player that was dying. Both endings are worth experiencing and well done. A Way Out is one of those games with a story that stays with you. You remember the characters, their names, their lives. The game combines great pacing with development between our two leads. We observe who they are and how that friendship started and then tragically ended. The smaller moments stay with you just like the impressive action sequences. And all of this was experienced with another person, a friend, a significant other. A Way Out is one of the best of its kind. It combines both what's great about video games and what's great about film. Hands down, this is one of my favorite games of this generation.
No shooting, we're in the hospital.
Yeah, it's time to split.